Hey guys, what's up? You're watching NR4 Media. We're here down at Blockchain Live 2019 at Olympia, London. We're going to be talking to some amazing guests today from all aspects of blockchain. We're going to be talking to them about IoT, AI-related learning, and also a little bit about future finance as well, and what really they're doing right now to disrupt the market. If you want to see more interesting content like this, remember to click like and subscribe, everything on social media, and of course YouTube. And if you've got any suggestions, do not be shy to comment away on the YouTube channel down below. It's a fantastic exhibition so far today. We're having some very relevant and fantastic conversations surrounding all things blockchain and what's going on in the industry right now. I'm delighted though for our first guest, a very good friend of mine, Simon Hooper, who's the director of ReMeLife.com. Simon, fantastic having you on. Thanks very much for joining me.
Thank you for being here.
So tell us a little bit about yourselves right now at ReMeLife. What's going on in terms of yourselves? Where are you at? And can you tell us any particular changes that you're seeing right now within blockchain?
It's been a dramatic year for us. When we spoke a year ago, we were evaluating an ICO as being a way to raise funding. And we all know what the world's perception of ICOs is at the moment. So we've spent the year developing a strategy, and we will be launching at the Malta Blockchain Summit a new funding mechanism that follows on from the previous worlds of ICOs, IEOs and STOs, and which is particularly suited to the medical world. And of course that's where we are based. We are a medtech system that supports those being cared for from diagnosis to end of life. Data is critical, blockchain is relevant, but it's about, for us, watching blockchain tokenization mature. And I think we're getting very close to an appropriate maturity level now.
And what exactly is the relevance, I suppose, with blockchain being within healthcare? Is this going to be the next big thing that we're going to be seeing in the market, or is there still time for older legacy technology to be used as well within healthcare?
Well, older legacy technology is always the issue in healthcare. Healthcare is so behind the curve when it comes to adoption. Eric Topol, in his book Deep Healthcare, talks about the 3 Ds in healthcare: digitization, democratization, and deep networks. And we've been adopting that strategy. We've digitized the healthcare journey from diagnosis to end of life in terms of person-centered care. We're now using blockchain and tokenization to democratize data so that our users can own and manage their own data for their own benefit and their own protection. And the next step, obviously, is deep technology to apply AI to optimize the data that we're collecting. So it's exciting times. So yes, healthcare is slow to adopt because of legacy, but the opportunities are so strong in terms of cost savings, consumer engagement, well-being, that it's coming, and it's coming. Well, the pace is fastening, let's put it that way.
So essentially you're initiating a tokenized system. Is this really going to have, you believe, an impact within healthcare? And is there any, I suppose, issues surrounding it as well that you want to put to bed around tokenization?
Well, the core for us is that everyone to date in healthcare has been focusing on clinical data.
Sorry, can you just come into frame?
I'm sorry. Well, the core for us is that to date everyone has been focusing on clinical data, not surprisingly, trying to digitize it, to have it be interoperable and portable. But it's our view that care starts with person-centered care. I love a statement that Hippocrates made many, many years ago, and it's just as important to know the person that has the disease as it is to know the disease that the person has. And to do that, you've got to spend time. You've got to spend time with the patient. You've got to deliver person-centered care. And person-centered care is the mantra of healthcare, yet it's just not delivered. I think we all know that if you visit a GP these days, you get 7 minutes. About 20 years ago, you'd have got half an hour plus. So person-centered care has really shrunk. So our focus is not on clinical data, but on personalizing the care journey. And we do that through capturing data, through digital activities, and then using that data to enhance the carer, GP, nurse relationship with the carer. So blockchain becomes critical because it has to manage all that data, or at least it has to validate and generate trust around that data. And tokenization is a way to incentivize and engage those consumers as they make that journey from diagnosis to end of life. So they're the perfect formula, really, for consumer engagement.
And there's a lot of changes right now with ReMeLife, like I said in the intro there as well. But you've got something going on right now which is new, and you'd like to obviously put out there to the world, and that's ReMeLife DAT, isn't it? So tell us a little bit about that and really how it's impacting or it's going to be implemented with ReMeLife?
I can't say too much because we are still not launched and
keeping your cards close to your chest.
Yes, I mean we will be one of the world's first 3 companies to deploy the DAT, the Decentralized Autonomous Trust, which is a funding mechanism which uses a standard financial instrument, a warrant, but digitizes it, fractionalizes it, and manages its transaction, its pricing and so forth using an Ethereum smart contract. So it's a completely different way of fundraising, and it's a way of, again, democratizing the whole process of consumer engagement. Initially, it will be directed at high net worth investors and of course institutions, because being a standard financial instrument, it's of institutional significance or appeal. But obviously our mission ultimately is to open it up so that consumers can benefit from participating in ReMeLife, where they'll be members as they use it to support their care needs. So it's pretty dramatic, it's pretty radical. We'll be launching hopefully to a few trumpets and fanfare in Malta in November. So we are very excited. It does look like the dawn of something new. And those we're working with are a very august body of AI leaders, blockchain leaders, who probably best they tell you what they're doing, but I mean it's going to have some impact.
So we've heard it here first on NR4 Media.
You can hear I'm faltering. I'm probably not supposed to be talking about this, but we're going to release it next week or the week after. So
we're friends, so it's okay.
Exciting times. You deserve it.
So it's a new way that of essentially doing funding, really, isn't it? That's incredible. I think it will obviously change the industry quite a lot in terms of it. So you're going to be going to Malta Summit later this year. Is there anything else that we're going to be seeing there as well at all coming out, or is that just the only thing so far?
In terms of blockchain and tokenomics generally? Or in terms of health?
I think we'll talk about it in terms of both, really. Let's talk about both.
I think one of the big bits of news is the interplay between AI and blockchain. So a guy called Ben Goertzel, the creator of Sophia the Robot, is building with many others the Singularity Net, which is a blockchain infrastructure that underpins AI and makes it possible for small-scale AI developers, wherever they may be, Africa, India, to build AI, sit it on this blockchain net and enable transactions and data to flow. That will revolutionize the way entities combine, basically.
You're just coming out of frame again a little bit, Simon, so
I'm
if I
sorry.
Just get to sleep, squidge in slightly more. So in terms of you being here today at this event, and obviously at Malta as well, which obviously you can't speak too much about as well, what are you allowing investors potentially to look at yourselves as ReMeLife? Are you looking for investment still, or is this the reason for coming to these events?
We're always looking for investment, inevitably. Our opportunity now is to scale, because we're not an MVP. We're already in the formal care sector in hospitals, daycare centres, memory clinics, care homes. So now we're launching into the consumer space. So yes, we are. Right now we have a round open to raise funding to, should we say, oil the wheels of the next 6 months of scalable fundraising. So yes, if people are interested in looking at an investment opportunity, they should go to ReMeLife.com, and we'd love to talk to them. Great
little plug there as well. So in terms of moving forward with you right now as a business, how are things going? Obviously this is huge news, but in terms of bringing out these technologies, it can be hard work. It can be a lot of effort, a lot of time going into it. How are you doing in terms of managing the business day to day as well?
We are very fortunate in that I'm surrounded by passion. We have 121 investors. At least 60% of them are in the healthcare space and passionate about seeing healthcare move forward. The other investors that we have healthcare issues in their lives, whether it's dementia, they're passionate. Those I'm working with, the team, are excited by the opportunity, because we're in a period of transition. Healthcare is going to go through massive changes. It has to. It takes 18% of American US GDPR, so change has to happen. So when you've got a time of such volatility, it's exciting. So it doesn't matter how hard the work is, it is hard, but it's very exciting times.
Yeah. And obviously there's a lot of businesses within blockchain, a lot of other healthcare companies that are embracing it as well. Who is, I suppose, going along the journey with you? Can you name a few companies, or is that, again, close to your chest?
No, there's been some interesting news recently. Dovetail, who were a NHS Innovate funded entity to research the possibilities of using blockchain for data to be disseminated to researchers, has been bought by EMIS. And EMIS are, as we understand it, blockchaining the supply chain between GP prescribing, the CCG and so forth. That's pretty dramatic. In terms of the companies deploying blockchain, well, as you're probably aware, the easier deployment of blockchain is in the supply chain sector. So Pharmium, who are here today, Pharma Trust, Medical Chain are here as well, more of a token play in relation to clinical data. There's not that many companies. The US has obviously a few big players, but the medical sector, the healthcare sector needs to move towards adoption. But I'm a great believer that if the consumer says they want something, then it tends to happen everywhere. So our focus is not like those companies on businesses and healthcare providers. Our focus is on the consumer. And if the consumer says yes, then I think we're going to see some big changes because of that consumer adoption.
Strong brand message. In terms of other technologies that you're utilising as well, you're always, I suppose, everybody's looking at artificial intelligence as well. Are these companies that you're working with using other areas such as AI on a frequent basis and looking at other markets such as IoT as well, or is that completely separate?
No, we have a broad product range. Our quip is that in the care sector, it's not Intel inside, it's ReMe inside. So we integrate with many different systems. We're integratable with care planning software. We are integrated with a social care robot called Genie. So we are the left hemisphere, or is it the right hemisphere? I don't know, of this social care robot that will be launched in about 6 months. We're integrated with sensory touch tables and other activities. And of course the big one is Alexa. We are in the middle of working with Amazon AWS to build some Alexa care skills that will support the person being cared for at home in a very elegant way. So we're hoping to launch that at Christmas. So yes, we are working across the spectrum of technology to either integrate or develop with.
All exciting stuff here. Simon, it's always a pleasure meeting up with yourselves, finding out what you're doing there at ReMeLife as well. Just quickly as well, for all the people watching around the world who are going to be watching this on YouTube and other different platforms as well, if people want to go find out a little bit more or potentially also look at doing funding as well with yourselves, how do they go about it?
Simply go to ReMeLife.com. Take a look at what is at the moment simply a consumer engagement platform that will morph and evolve over time. But take a look at the membership page and click through where the magic word tokens is mentioned, and you'll find yourself in our .io website where there's full information. We're not releasing the full data yet in terms of white papers for another couple of weeks, but it is a good time to look at what we're doing because you'll be in at the beginning of something that is undoubtedly going to scale.
Great stuff. And just before we wrap up, is there anything that you're looking forward to finding out a little bit more at this great exhibition today?
There's some interesting people here. There's Don Tapscott, who's kind of the king of tokenization and obviously created the Pillar wallet or was involved in it. There's some very interesting speakers here. There's Patient Tori, who I'm looking to see how they've progressed with their non-profit clinical token project. There's a lot to see, and I haven't yet had a chance, but I know I'm going to have a good day.
Great stuff. Simon, pleasure as always. Thank you very much for joining us on this episode of NR4 Media. Thank you very much. Thank you. If you'd like to find out more great content like this, then please remember to like and subscribe. We're going to have more interesting guests coming out throughout the day at Blockchain Live 2019.